Hello and welcome to Villa Aurora, where we're starting today's program. My name is Claudia Gordon and I'm the director of Villa Aurora.
And I'm Nikolai Blaumer, the program director of the Thomas Mann House.
Villa Aurora has been an artist residence for 25 years now. And before that, it was the exile home of writer Leon Feuchtwanger and his wife Martha, and also one of the great salons of Weimar on the Pacific. One of the Feuchtwangers' great friends and frequent visitors to this house was Bertolt Brecht. Leon Feuchtwanger and Bertolt Brecht actually met in 1919 in Munich, when Brecht just showed up on Feuchtwanger's doorstep with a play in hand that he wanted Feuchtwanger to review. And this developed into a lifelong friendship and also several collaborations. Nikolai, what can you tell us about the relationship of Brecht and Thomas Mann?
It was a difficult relationship. We have to say that a lot of mutual friends and acquaintances as well. But professionally and also politically, it was a distant relationship. Nevertheless, we are really happy that the current owner of the Brecht House in Santa Monica, Rina Welles, is really a close friend and a supporter of the Thomas Mann House, a regular visitor of our programs here in Pacific Palisades. And today, she invited Claudia and me for conversation and also performance at our house. And our program today will start with a dialogue between Claudia and Rina in the former cigar room of Bertolt Brecht. And then we will be invited to the patio by Shea Welsh. He's a well-known composer, a songwriter, a guitarist, and he and some musical greats like Freda Payne or Michelle Coltrane and Hila Plitmann, they will perform some Bertolt Brecht songs and recite some of his poems. And Shea will also present some of his personal compositions. And the whole program will conclude with a conversation between Rina and me in the garden of the Brecht House. And today, Claudia and I would also like to wish you really a happy New Year 2021 and all good wishes for the holiday season. Happy holidays and enjoy the program.
This house is, of course, where Brecht wrote Hangmen Also Die, which was going to be the movie directed by Fritz Lang, and the Caucasian Chalk Circle, and an English version of Galileo, which he did with Charles Lawton. So obviously it's a very, very special place. And I heard that you read Brecht from a young age already. And so I was wondering, what role did the history of the house and the famous inhabitant play in your decision of purchasing it?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question, and it's actually really interesting because I read the Threepenny Opera, a Polish version of the book, when I was about 11 years old. I remember the book very well, and in fact, I know my aunt, who now lives in Vienna, has the book. So I want to import the book here, so I have it. I remembered a passage from it when I read it about Polly, who had cheeks like peaches, and that stuck with me. And I was also very affected by how he wrote and how he really knew how to describe struggle of the common person. A lot of people struggling in his books, and that really resonated with me, and I remembered it for a long time. So when I walked into this house, I did not know he lived here, but the house reminded me of my house where I grew up in Wrocław, Poland. And the agent who was here told me that Bertolt Brecht lived here, and I had a flashback about, wow, I actually remembered that passage again. And something moved me to go ahead and buy this house, and everything went effortlessly with the transaction. So I definitely believe it was meant to be.
Martha Feuchtwanger has described Brecht as temperamentally ill-suited for Hollywood, and of course it was quite difficult for him coming from Europe, where he was already famous, and having to knock on doors again. And generally, he's described as kind of a more difficult person, certainly not very easygoing. So I was wondering if you have encountered any contemporary witnesses who met Brecht during his time at the house.
Yes, actually, it's a wonderful question because I did meet a woman who is an American and a documentary filmmaker here, and unfortunately I do not remember her name, but she reached out to me when she read the article about the house in the LA Times, and I had her over for tea, and she described that when she was young she would come to this house with her dad, who was a writer, and she interacted with mostly Brecht's mistress in the back house, and they did manicures together. But then Brecht would call her over and want to speak with her, and she was very flattered, and she had wonderful, very pleasant interactions with him. I was surprised to hear, because I had heard the stereotypes about his personality, which you just said, but which no doubt were partially true. But this girl perceived him as a very friendly, warm guy. And and when we talked about why he was interested in speaking to her, she said he informed her the characters in his books by talking to a child, so he would have better language and a better perspective to write about, which is fascinating to me.
You have built an addition to the 1921 Brecht House, which has become an architectural icon in its own right. So I was wondering how you chose the architect and ultimately the design of the addition.
Yes, so the architect of this house is actually a family member. Her name is Natalia Golubchik. Now she goes by Natalia Kashper. And she is a partner in the architectural firm of DUB Studios here in Santa Monica. And she and her partner, Gabriel Sandoval, designed this house. Natalia graduated from Harvard University, which is known for a lot of modern architecture. So she wanted to incorporate that, at the same time preserving this wonderful house, which was also being preserved by the city of Santa Monica. And the city approved their wonderful design of bridging the old and the new through the wonderful bridge that they created to make that connection. And the house actually got the City of Santa Monica Preservation Award for the wonderful design and preservation work that they did here.
Like Villa Aurora and the Thomas Mann House, this house was also a meeting place of European exiles during Brecht's time here, where they met and also got together with their American colleagues and collaborators. And I was wondering how you see yourself in this tradition.
I actually am in this tradition because I'm also a European exile to this country. I was a political refugee here with my parents from Poland. And I also, like Brecht did, love having different creatives in this house, hosting discussions, readings, concerts, plays. It's very important to me to have a variety of people here and to show that what is important to me, and I think it was to Brecht, was uniting people and finding common ground rather than labeling people, like the different labels that were put on him throughout his life as a Marxist, communist, etc. Different religious and political affiliations. They may or may not have been true to his heart, but what was true to his heart, like it is to mine, is the creative spirit and appreciating creativity in all of its ways. And so I think I carry on that tradition to show that just like in Europe, where so many cultures live next door to each other and for the most part in recent history have gotten along and are trying to do better and unifying, it can be done if we find common ground rather than labeling and divisions.
At Villa Aurora, generations of artists and residents are convinced that the house is haunted. And the energy there is generally described as benevolent, and the jury is still out if it's Martha Feuchtwanger or maybe Leon's longtime secretary Hilde Waldo. And I was wondering if you kind of have a feel of some sort of energy around this house that kind of reflects all the intellectual encounters and all the creative work that went on here.
Yes, I definitely feel a lot of creative energy, and the fact that I've had so many creatives come through this house doing concerts, plays, readings shows that this house is infused with creativity. And when I first walked into this house, I thought that. And I still think it. I even, where my office is located now is Brecht's old writing room, where he himself and he had several writers working here. Were working, and I was just compelled to put my writing table there. I also write poetry and prose and work there. And it's really, I pick up on that creative energy. I'm being very creative when I work there. It's also a very creative corner because right across the street we have the Mosaic House, which gets a lot of traffic and visitors. But I also thought of something that my daughter, who lives upstairs in the Brecht house, has mentioned over the years, and that is that she keeps hearing things in the attic. So I don't know what to make of it. Of course, I tell her, you know, it's okay, it's silly, but I heard her describe this to people through the years, so who knows? It's a fun question and something really fun to ponder.
Poor Bibi, Bertolt Brecht. I, Bertolt Brecht, am from the Black Forests. My mother carried me into the cities as I laid in her body. And the cold of the forest will be in me until my life ceases. In the asphalt city, I am at home. From the very start, provided with every last sacrament, with newspapers and tobacco and brandy. Mistrustful and lazy, and in the end, content. I am friendly with people. I put on a bowler hat exactly as they do. I say, these creatures have a quite peculiar smell, and I say, no matter, I do too. In my empty rocking chairs in the morning, now and then I sit down a couple of women, and I contemplate them idly, and I say to them, in me, you have someone you cannot count on. Towards evening, I gather men around me. We address one another as gentlemen. They sit with their feet up on my tables and they say, things will get better for us, and I don't ask when. Towards morning in the gray first light, the fir trees piss and their vermin, the birds, begin to scream. At that hour, I drink up my glass in the city and I fling my stub of tobacco away and I fall asleep in unease. We have sat, a like generation, in houses said to be indestructible, for we built the high dwellings on Manhattan Island and laid the cables that entertain the Atlantic Ocean. Of these cities will remain what went through them, the wind. The house makes the eater happy. He cleans it out. We know we are only provisional, and after us will come nothing to write home about. Poor Bibi, Bertolt Brecht.
I was hoping hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you feel for me the way that I feel about you. Settle into a new space, make promises we won't break. Feels like the first time again. Butterflies are rushing in. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? 'Cause I was hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you feel for me the way that I feel about you. No baggage to be claimed, no apologies yet to be made. All time for us to make up for everything that messed up. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Maybe we could start fresh and new. Melodies and harmony to lead us. Oh, wouldn't it be nice? So maybe we could start fresh and new. Melodies and harmony to lead us. I was hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you feel for me the way that I feel about you. No baggage to be claimed, no apologies yet to be made. A time for us to make up for everything that messed up. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Ooh, wouldn't it be nice? So
We fly over mountains as though there were nothing to it. Great are the works of humans, but bread for all, we can't do it. Child, ask why can we not feed the hungry? Across continents, people speak from house to house. Hundreds of thousands of hands are reaching out. Child, ask why do they not grasp fraternity?
a few of my favorites. These are a few of my favorite things. Raindrops, roses, whiskers on kittens, brown copper kettles, warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. cheese and crisp apple strudel, a doorbell's sleigh bell, schnitzel with noodle, a wild geese fly, the boats on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses, blue satin sashes, snowflakes stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember, I simply remember. And then I don't feel so blue satin sashes, snowflakes melt on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I feel sad, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember my favorite things. And then I don't feel so bad. These are a few of my favorites. These are a few of my favorite baby
Joy of beginning, oh early morning, first grass, when we've all but forgotten what green is. Oh, first page in the book, awaited, full of surprises. Read slowly. All too quickly, the unread part will grow thin. Oh, the beginning of love. The glance that wanders. Oh, beginning of work, to fill oil in the cold machine. The first rev and first humming of the motor as it starts, and the first puff of smoke filling the lungs. And you, new thought.
In my
dream that never ends. Your soft song fills the night. The blue rain falls, the red moon glows, the black wind churns. You call out my name. Into the darkness I run. I follow your voice, and soon I am by your side. In your arms I feel your strength, but you choose my one weakness. You touch my thigh, you kiss my neck, you clutch my breast. Destiny, fill me with ecstasy. It's pure like a flame, the dream that never ends. You're like a flame sacred beauty against the grim. We must live bolder, not afraid to act on a whim. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you, we'll get a Guinness in Galway, go see the ballet in Belarus. We'll drive the Tesla to Tulsa in the rain. We'll pray to Buddha in Bangkok. We'll drink Merlot in a French chateau, or ride the Mustang on the beach in Malibu. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you, we'll fly to Brussels to eat mussels. We'll go hear Mahler at the Met. We'll learn to surf and hula dance in Oahu. We'll plant a tree at every truck stop. We'll save a sloth in Panama, feed a baby monkey's mama in Mumbai. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you. Time, there's no time today. Time.
A poem by Bertolt Brecht. Pleasures. First, look out of the window in the morning. The old book that is found again, enthusiastic faces, snow, the changing seasons, the newspaper, the dog, dialectics, showering, swimming, old music. Comfortable shoes, understanding, new music, writing, planting, travel, singing, being friendly.
That you sent through me, I get high, remembering how good you feel. I deliberately think of you and every little thing you do. I get aroused high on a cloud. Whenever I want you, I get high, get high, I get high. I get high, I get high, I get high on your memory. get high, 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 high. When I hear the mention of your name, I always react the same. My heart takes a rise to the ground, to the sky. I get high, I get high, I get high, I get high. I get high. High from the feeling you give me, even though you're not with me. Together we made a memory. Don't forget about ecstasy. I get high, 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 I get high. I get high on your memory. Sweet, sweet memory. I get high. I get high. Some bubble up day. Get up deep, baby, out. Scopping on me out. Slowly do it. People, boy, 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 the people out. Scopping on, baba, da, boy, day. But it's day, do, day. So, the day, da, yeah. Scopping on, day. Scopping on, we do day. Scopping on, we do day. I get high on your memory. I get high on you, baby. I get high. Oh, the shark has pearly teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Mackie, dear, and he keeps it out of sight. Oh, the shark bite with his teeth, dear. Scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, so has Mackie, dear. So there's never, ever, ever a trace of bread. Oh, Sunday morning, ooh, on night lies a body. It's just oozing life. Someone sneaking around the corner. Could that somebody be Mac the Knife? Oh, Suki Tawdry and Lottie Enya, they were swinging on that
Rina, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for your hospitality and for opening the doors for us for this recording. If you like, we can talk a bit about the neighborhood here and about Brecht and his history. He first lived on 25th Street, that's only one street further here in Santa Monica, and then he moved to 26 in 42, if I'm right. In the beginning, he wasn't able to afford such a big house, but then after Hangman also died with Fritz Lang, he decided to move here with his family. And when you moved here, in the time in between, how would you say that the neighborhood changed? And also, is that some of this atmosphere of this Brecht exile of the community during the Second World War, is that still graspable here?
Well, I've lived in this house for 8 years now since it's been renovated, and the neighborhood has definitely become much more bustling. But Santa Monica is a beach city, so it still has that old-time feel, and people are very neighborly in a lot of ways, and we have little neighborhoods around coffee houses and such that where I hear many different languages. I hear Russian very often. I also hear German and other European languages. So I know many Europeans who come here, attend schools, are on a contract work, and then go back to Europe. So I think Santa Monica has always been welcoming to that. Also, there are a lot of tourists that travel here, and you can definitely hear that. But the house itself and the way the backyard is set up is a sort of an oasis to us. It's very private, and it feels like time has really stood still.
Rina, we are standing here in front of the original house of Bertolt Brecht, and part of it was also the study by Brecht. He noted that it was 7 meters long, and he equipped it with 4 tables and whitewashed the walls. And in which way is the atmosphere still noticeable for you? And you mentioned also that you are a poet yourself. Maybe you can talk also a bit about this creative spirit in this house.
I am also a poet, and I write prose. And it's very interesting that the energy I picked up upon when I first walked into this house, I still feel to this day. And my office is in Brecht's old office, and I definitely have done a lot of writing there. So it's interesting that for whatever reason, I would be picking the same spaces, and I didn't even know about them till later on when I read in his books that this is, or his letters, this is where he was writing. Yes, there's some creative energy running through here, and it's evident in the neighborhood, the mosaic house across the street, and I think it draws creatives and artists such as myself.
We have the great privilege to be guests here in your private family home, and there's kind of a balance. It's on the one hand side a historic side with a lot of interest, and on the other hand it's also your private family home. And how do you balance those 2 points? And are there a lot of tourists waiting here in front of the door, queuing up? Any Brecht aficionados?
Well, I guess it's part of my personality that I'm very open to other people and interesting experiences. So when I have flowers brought to my doorstep, usually around Brecht's birthday, I find it wonderful, and I bring them in and enjoy them. I've also had funny things happen, such as finding a group of about 20 people in my alley a few years ago. Turned out those were journalists from the LA Times and I believe the New York Times, as well as graduate students from USC, and Yuval Sharon, who is a friend of mine and a opera composer. And they were on a tour of the Brecht house, but we didn't know each other, so they were only looking outside until I pulled up and started speaking with them, and then invited them in on a tour, which my son actually participated in. He showed them around, and I just find it to be a very interesting experience. It's part of what makes my life fun and exciting, and it's very educational for my children. So I feel like I know how to strike the balance and it doesn't really bother me.
Santa Monica's changing rapidly at the moment, and there are also changes in this house. And what do you wish for the future of this very special place?
Yes, so whether it's me or whoever lives here next, I really hope that the creative spirit that is here is respected and inspires many people to do many more creative things here, to have connections that are with the arts and are important, and performances of all kinds. And hopefully anybody living here will also be able to balance the private with the public aspects and enjoy all this great creativity, beautiful nature, and everything else that this legacy has to offer.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.